Hello, my name is Nenad and I'm a demographic consultant at ID. I'd like to show you how to use a social atlas tool to understand vulnerable communities in your area. As a practical case for today, let's imagine that I'm part of an aged and disability community team at a council, and that I'm wanting to know the distribution of people who need assistance due to disability across our municipality. My goal is to use this information and knowledge in an access and disability inclusion plan, whose overall goal is to ensure that people with disability feel valued, have a sense of belonging to their community, and are included in all aspects of community life and employment. This example is one of many ways that vulnerable communities' information can be used to make informed, focused, and effective decisions in local government. In the Social Atlas tool, I can choose from over 100 demographic themes to help me understand our communities at the neighbourhood level. This drop-down on the left here is where I change the demographic variables and maps, and they're all grouped into themes. So to find out about the population of the city of Darebin who have a need for assistance due to disability, I will select that variable from our themes. It's located under Income and Wellbeing. Right away, I see the spatial distribution of people with a need for assistance due to disability across the entire LGA, and I can begin to understand where focus may be needed. The Social Atlas is designed with the ability to identify small-scale distribution of populations in mind. Higher suburbs of residents with disability are in some of the established, traditionally family household suburbs which are experiencing ageing in place. That's some of these ones in the north. Along with seeing the latest census figures, I can also understand the trends and changes of persons with a disability over time by assessing the change from 2011 to 2016. Some areas experience a decrease over time, and for those, it's important to look at the change in percent, but also absolute numbers, because sometimes a changing role and function of a neighbourhood can decrease the proportion of a particular group, while in fact total numbers remain the same, or in fact increase. Areas which are gentrifying may be experiencing a decrease in both number and percentage, and areas which are ageing in place will experience an increase in both percent and number terms of people with a disability, as age is strongly related to disability. With this information, I now understand the spatial distribution across the LGA and can export the map to use in my inclusion plan document, in my communication with colleagues, or presentation with the public and stakeholder groups, or disability action groups in the community. I can even export all of the neighbourhood SA1s to use in other mapping, GIS, or visualization software. Choosing the Analysis tab presents us with useful headline text and provides an understanding of suburb statistics in benchmark areas, such as greater capital cities or states. So in this case, we see that the northern suburb of Reservoir, for example, I was looking at before, has a higher proportion of residents with a disability. So this one has 7.6% than Northcote, 4.8%. And we can see how those two compare to the city of Darebin as a whole, to Greater Melbourne, Victoria, or Australia. Reservoir has a higher percentage than any of those benchmarks. And we can use this to justify a case for certain resource allocation. Benchmarking a set of results to other areas is an impactful way of objectively comparing results. It can demonstrate whether the level of disability we're observing in one neighbourhood is significantly higher than the LGA average, or if a particular suburb's change in trend is increasing at a higher rate than the rest of the LGA or the state. And demonstrating this information with objective comparisons can really strengthen the case. If I need to know about the need for assistance in one particular part of an LGA, I would select a cluster of SA1s and then analyse the results within Social Atlas, benchmark to catchment's disability statistics to the rest of the suburb or LGA, and export the information to use in my Access and Disability Inclusion Plan. So to do this, we simply zoom in and select multiple SA1s for our catchment. On the left here, we have the total number and total percentage, which is easily exported to be used elsewhere. So this is a quick way of understanding a vulnerable community using Social Atlas and instantly being able to use it in policy in order to effectively make an impact. I suggest trying these steps yourself for a few more data sets, such as identifying where older lone person households are, or where residents who are experiencing housing or rental stress live. Answering questions about vulnerability usually requires an assessment of a few different data sets. So remember that you have the maps, the trend analysis and change over time, the analysis tab, the informative accompanying text, catchment selection capability, and export capability at your disposal. Outside of Social Atlas, we have the ability to bring together many data sets to tell you specialized stories of vulnerable or related demographic narratives. For example, if you're wanting to understand where older residents who live alone, don't speak English very well, and may have a need for assistance due to disability as part of your work for a community plan, or if you're developing a youth management or youth engagement policy and want to learn about young residents who are recent arrivals and are disengaged within your LGA, while this information isn't available in Social Atlas, we can help provide that information and further help you understand what information is saying. So for now, happy social atlasing, and if you have any queries or questions about this, please contact us. Thank you.